Today we continue our story. It begins with a conference in Washington, where secret plans are made for a large-scale invasion of North Africa.
In December 1941, just 2 weeks after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, President Franklin Roosevelt and Prime Minister Winston Churchill met in Washington, D.C. to coordinate the entry of America's armed forces into the Second World War. The Arcadia Conference established the strategic framework for the next year of the war, to include the decision to initiate planning for Operation Torch in North Africa.
Under these same conditions, this team again displays the great fighting spirit and capabilities for which Old Ironsides has long been famous.
On November 8, 1942, the Allies commenced Operation Torch with the largest amphibious assault in history up to that point in time, with landings near the cities of Casablanca, Oran, and Algiers, and forced the capitulation of French Vichy forces within days. After gaining these critical footholds, Allied forces quickly initiated operations into Tunisia. Soldiers of the 1st Armored Division would enter the crucible of combat over the next 6 months in numerous battles against Axis forces. The Iron Soldiers of the Old Ironsides Division would employ crucial lessons learned to repulse the Axis operations at El Ghoutar, enabling Allied forces to drive Axis forces from North Africa.
We have victory. A bright gleam has caught the helmets of our soldiers and warmed and cheered all our hearts. This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning.
While those words rang true for the Allied powers, for their enemies, it was the beginning of the end. This year marks the 80th anniversary of Operation Torch and the commencement of operations against Axis forces in the European theater. The lessons that the 1st Armored Division and the United States Army learned in North Africa would propel them for subsequent operations in Italy and Western Europe. On December 10th, we honor the Iron Soldiers of the 1st Armored Division and their storied legacy that have long made Old Ironsides famous. Go Army! Beat Navy!